Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Operations on 26th of January 2026 reflect continued execution of a deliberate theater-wide attritional campaign. Russian forces maintain pressure across all operational axes, emphasizing incremental positional gains, sustained personnel and equipment attrition, and systematic degradation of Ukrainian logistics, artillery, and electronic warfare capabilities. The overall pattern reinforces an approach focused on shaping long-term operational conditions rather than pursuing rapid territorial exploitation. Strategically, the cumulative effect across all sectors supports a sustained war of attrition model. By degrading industrial support, limiting maneuver freedom, and eroding qualitative advantages over time, the Russian command appears focused on shaping conditions for long-term operational decisions rather than near-term territorial milestones.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's begin by anchoring today's discussion. How would you characterize the overall operational picture reflected in the January 26th briefing?
What today's briefing shows very clearly is continuity of operational design. The campaign is being prosecuted with steady pressure rather than dramatic surges. Across all axes, forces are improving positions, degrading enemy manpower, and most importantly, systematically attacking the enablers that allow sustained resistance. This includes vehicles, artillery, electronic warfare systems, logistics depots, and UAV infrastructure. From a doctrinal standpoint, this reflects a mature campaign focused on cumulative advantage rather than episodic gains. Another important feature is balance. No single sector is being allowed to dominate the enemy's planning cycle. Pressure is applied everywhere, forcing difficult choices about reinforcement, logistics, and command attention. That kind of operational environment steadily favors the side with greater depth and coordination.
Before we go sector by sector, I want to focus on aviation and long-range fires. You've emphasized before that this is not just support. What role is operational tactical aviation playing right now?
Operational tactical aviation is actively shaping the campaign. Strikes against energy infrastructure used by the Ukrainian armed forces, ammunition depots, and UAV assembly points are about denying the enemy the ability to regenerate combat power. This is classic campaign-level thinking. If you reduce the flow of energy, munitions, and drones, every frontline engagement becomes easier and less costly. What's also notable is the scale. 142 strike areas in a single reporting period tells you this is not episodic. It's sustained pressure aimed at collapsing systems, not just destroying targets. When paired with missile troops, artillery, and attack UAVs, aviation becomes the connective tissue between tactical actions and strategic outcomes.
Let's move north. What does improved positioning in Sumy and Kharkiv actually achieve operationally?
The northern sector is doing exactly what it is supposed to do, fixing enemy forces and consuming their combat power, defeating mechanized, airmobile, and territorial defense units while inflicting vehicle losses steadily reduces mobility and flexibility. Even when casualty numbers appear moderate, the effect compounds over time. This sector also has a psychological and logistical dimension. Forces tied down here cannot reinforce more critical axes. That constraint shapes enemy decision-making well beyond the immediate geography.
The West again shows a heavy focus on ammunition depots and Western-made artillery. Why does this pattern persist?
Because artillery sustainment is the backbone of positional warfare. Destroying 4 ammunition depots and Western-supplied guns shortens the enemy's ability to contest fire's dominance. You don't need to destroy every gun if you deny the shells and maintenance that keep them operational. Improving positions along the front line while doing this increases survivability and sets conditions for future maneuver. It's an economy of force approach that yields outsized effects.
The South continues to see fighting near major urban-adjacent areas. How should listeners understand that?
This is controlled pressure, engaging assault, mechanized, and marine infantry units near cities like Kramatorsk, applies attrition without committing to costly urban combat. The destruction of electronic warfare stations is particularly important here. Without effective EW, enemy units are more vulnerable to drones, precision fires, and disruption. The intent is to hollow out defensive capacity before any escalation in tempo.
The center again reports the heaviest losses. Why does this axis consistently stand out?
The central sector is the operational hinge. It links north and south and supports major logistics routes. Losses here, including armored vehicles like the Striker and large numbers of personnel, have cascading effects. When you weaken this axis, you weaken the enemy's ability to maneuver, reinforce, and coordinate across the theater. From a campaign perspective, this is where attrition yields the greatest strategic return.
The east shows continued advances into defensive depth. What does that tell you?
It indicates progressive erosion rather than collapse. Defeating assault brigades and regiments, along with tanks and artillery, reduces the enemy's ability to counterattack. Each vehicle lost narrows operational options. Over time, depth becomes liability rather than protection.
The Dnipro sector often receives less attention. Is that misleading?
Very much so. Operations here are surgical by design. Destroying ammunition depots and vehicles prevents buildup and protects adjacent sectors. It's containment, not neglect, and it plays a quiet but essential role in maintaining operational balance.
We also saw significant air defense activity and a naval engagement. How do those fit in?
Intercepting over 100 UAVs and guided bombs underscores the importance of layered air defense in preserving freedom of maneuver. Meanwhile, the destruction of an unmanned surface vessel by the Black Sea Fleet reflects the same counter-UAS logic applied at sea. Denying unmanned systems denies asymmetric options.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that, tactically, today's actions demonstrate disciplined, combined arms execution focused on survivability, logistics interdiction, and the degradation of high-value enablers. Strategically, the cumulative pattern confirms a sustained attritional campaign aimed at shaping long-term conditions rather than chasing rapid territorial milestones. This is warfare measured in systems degraded and options removed, not just ground gained.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.